The number of destroyed tanks of the Ukrainian army is increasing every day. Nearly every day, military experts study new videos showing how not only Ukrainian tanks, but also other NATO-style heavy military equipment are systematically destroyed. At the same time, the surviving Ukrainian soldiers claim that they could not understand what exactly caused the destruction of the armored group of the armed forces of Ukraine. Some soldiers claim that the tanks were destroyed with the help of high-precision Russian missiles, while others claim that they were anti-tank missile systems. At the same time, witnesses note that there were no Russian combat planes and attack helicopters in the air at the time of the destruction of the tanks. Later it became clear what exactly caused the mysterious destruction of Ukrainian tanks. As it turned out, the Russians began to test their latest weapon in Ukraine, a new generation jumping mine, PTKM-1R. Unfortunately, the main characteristics of this latest mine are kept strictly secret. However, it became clear from open sources that in 4 months of using these mines on the battlefield, it became known about the high effectiveness of this weapon. Many sources in the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation state that the PTKM-1R is a unique weapon from which it is impossible to escape. Military experts claim that it is the latest Russian jumping mine that has become a key factor in the huge losses of Ukrainian tanks and other heavy equipment. The jumping mine PTKM-1R looks like a steel cylinder, weighing 22 kilograms. This mine is equipped with sensitive seismic and acoustic sensors, as well as special infrared combat elements, capable of detecting a target at a distance of up to 300 meters. As soon as the enemy's armored group enters the affected area, the warhead of the mine is launched, which takes off to a height of 30 meters and begins to scan the area, identifying the heaviest and most heavily armed tank for destruction. The jumping mine PTKM-1R determines this with the help of special scanners and thermal imagers, and the vibrations from the tracks give accurate data on the weight of the tank. Then, there is a blow from a height of 30 meters on the most vulnerable part of the tank, the roof of the turret. As a result, the tank does not have a single chance of survival. It is worth noting that the Western military has analogues of the latest Russian jumping anti-tank mine. For example, the American M93 Hornet, or the Franco-British Apajax. However, according to experts, in terms of their effectiveness and nomenclature of application, Western analogues cannot compare with the latest Russian jumping mine. It is also worth noting the opinion of Chinese experts of the publication Sohu. In particular, Chinese experts declared that the latest Russian jumping anti-tank mine PTKM-1R has no equal. According to them, the Russians have created a weapon that completely zeroed out the full power and significance of tank offensive forces. Moreover, the Chinese also admired the ability of PTKM-1R to self-destruct after 10-15 days. All this was provided so that these weapons would not pose a threat to the civilian population. The Russians have again done the impossible. They have created an absolutely high-quality intellectual mine explosive device of a new generation, that over time can turn all the tanks of the world into a museum exhibit, that will no longer have a place on the battlefield, Chinese experts said. Although, the main characteristics of the PTKM-1R are classified, experts assume that the Russians control their latest jumping mines with the help of a single unified network, from a special headquarters control. Meanwhile, the NATO military was very impressed with the latest Russian mine. The Western military is making every effort to get at least one copy of the Russian jumping anti-tank mine for study. However, judging by what the intellectual Russian anti-tank mine is capable of, it will never fall into the hands of NATO generals. While the US government continues to invest tens of billions of dollars in Ukraine, Washington's competitors are increasing their superiority in the field of hypersonic technologies. At the moment, the United States is only at the initial level of mastering hypersonic technologies, while Russia and China have moved to a new level of development in this field of weapons. Moreover, hypersonic weapons are not only in service with the Russian army, but are also actively used during combat operations. At the same time, the United States is only trying to create its own analog of the Russian hypersonic missile Kinzhal. Moreover, while the United States is trying to create its first hypersonic weapon, Russia is increasing the nomenclature of its already impressive arsenal of hypersonic missiles. So, recently, the US military was seriously frightened by another bad news from Russia. It became known of another latest Russian development in the field of hypersonic technologies. We are talking about the latest Russian hypersonic missile, ZMEYEVIK. Even though the main characteristics of this hypersonic missile are classified, the Pentagon has already nicknamed it the killer of aircraft carrier combat groups. Chinese experts, studying the available information about the latest Russian hypersonic missile ZMEYEVIK, said that it far exceeds the characteristics of the Chinese long-range hypersonic missiles Dongfeng 21D and Dongfeng 26. According to available data, the range of the latest hypersonic missile ZMEYEVIK is 5,000 kilometers, while the speed of movement of the rocket reaches 7,000 kilometers per hour. It is known that the latest hypersonic missile will be used as a coastal missile system. Chinese experts also noted the size of the latest missile. It is much smaller and more compact than its Chinese counterparts, which allows it to be used on many other carriers. If all these characteristics of the latest hypersonic missile are confirmed, it will mean that Russia has finally zeroed out the full power of the US Navy's aircraft carrier combat groups. Now, Russia possesses not only hypersonic Zircon missiles, capable of destroying any large surface object of the US Navy, but also a hypersonic missile ZMEYEVIK, capable of turning into dust the carrier battle groups of the US Navy. Moreover, the hypersonic missile ZMEYEVIK makes useless the use of combat aviation on board aircraft carriers. The fact is that the radius of destruction of the latest hypersonic missile is an impressive 5,000 kilometers, and because of this, carrier battle groups will be forced to stay at a distance of 6,000 to 7,000 kilometers from the coast, which will not allow the Americans to use combat aviation. However, the compact size of the rocket ZMEYEVIK allows it to be used on ships and even submarines. If over time the Russians manage to deploy these missiles on other carriers, then this will mean the complete helplessness of the US Navy, whose aircraft carriers will no longer be able to leave their native harbor. Meanwhile, at American military forums, many experts do not hide their dissatisfaction. According to them, while the Pentagon is posting videos with individual elements of the future American hypersonic missile, the Russians are actively using the Kinzhal hypersonic missile during combat operations, while developing the latest hypersonic missile ZMEYEVIK, which is capable of taking under fire control not only Alaska and Hawaii, but also all coastal ports of the United States.